Hello, and welcome back to Scholastically Natalie, where I am once again deeply apologetic for not posting recently. I feel like once I get excited and remember how to post like a responsible human, I then get distracted and don't post. I've been particularly productive today, so maybe that's why I felt like I could, record this video. I assembled my IKEA bookshelf today, which has been sitting in the back of my car for a week, and then in my room for the past few days. And I need to rope one of my friends into helping me carry a piece of furniture out of my car, because we somehow managed to get it to sit in my back seat with 3 people when I picked it up from the very nice lady's house who sold it to me with the assistance of her neighbor, which was super kind, but I'm not really sure how I can get it out without at least another person. Worst comes to worst, I'll see if I can bribe the guys I always see sitting out on their porches downstairs with beer into doing it. If you hear any noises, I think I have a new neighbor next to me, so hopefully you can't hear much. I always both overestimate and underestimate this microphone for picking up outside noises. I know it's supposed to be concentrated, it better pick up only me. But I still do turn off my air conditioner, of course, to not have completely terrible noises, even though I do still feel like I do sound a bit odd in my more recent videos, but that also might be because I've turned up the sound a lot when I, kind of post-edit these videos. Oh, sorry. I'm yawning. I think it's because I drank coffee today that I've been particularly productive. Both of those. My friend gave me a Keurig, so I'm trying out different coffee mixtures, even though I really didn't drink that much coffee because I put whipped cream on top and I put in way too much because it was almost making me sick. So we'll try again tomorrow. If you have any interesting combinations you like, let me know. I don't actually like the taste of coffee itself, so when I'm like going to Starbucks or Dunkin', I usually get mochas because the chocolate is the best at disguising the taste of coffee. So I do have a cafe mocha creamer that's in the fridge, and then I also have mocha syrup and then some sweetener and stuff, so I'm open to trying out things. I feel like I have more things to tell you, but I can't remember what they are right now. I've done so much stuff today that my brain's just like, can we chill out? I bought fancy like olive oil bottles that you can pour things out of, 1 for my olive oil and 2 for my mocha syrup with my Keurig. And I feel like I've gotten a lot of stuff done today, so I will try to make coffee tomorrow and see if this happy trend continues. So today I've been having this scene, maybe not even a scene, just like this image in my head that I really want to write. We're gearing up for our last one-shot for the game that I was playing in earlier that has Munhael, my druid, who is based off of a peacock palette, if you don't remember. And I had a really fun time making her. She has a fun, kind of run-of-the-mill backstory. I designed her based off of peacock, and my DM was like, your bird elf society, because we all have bird feathers, because we're special. No, she gave us a hierarchy based off of plumage and such, and so made peacocks at the top of the hierarchy, which I wasn't expecting, but here we are. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so tired right now. And so upon learning that, I was like, oh, cool, well, maybe my peacock got in some sort of trouble with the current queen, either by kind of usurping her power or finding out she's pretending to be a peacock or whatever, and had to run away, and that's how she became a druid and has like been living like a hermit. And she agreed. And so here we are. And in the past campaign, so far, my peacock has gone home to kick out the queen and reclaim the throne, and then got mind controlled and so I was no longer interested in the throne. We had a rough time. But what I've really been seeing in my head are like the confrontations, because I didn't get to do the first confrontation, then I didn't get to do the second confrontation because my peacock was ultimately a selfish character, so I couldn't really see her staying with the party when she had a very insistent goal in front of her that she needed to get done. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to start with the beginning, and then maybe we can have a nice foil. Depends on how far I get and how creative I'm feeling today. I'm not sure how creative I'm feeling today. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and I keep yawning. I'm so sorry. Okay. You know, I don't think I even remember the queen's name. My D&D bag's locked in my trunk. I can't go look. Let's see. Munhael Adored. We're just gonna call her Regina for now. Munhael Adored Regina, the older peacock. Always making sure to train her, to tutor her in all the graces that society would demand of her. She often let Munhael borrow her clothes or jewelry. When the younger didn't have anything suitable. Munhael had only been brought to the palace a month ago, thrown into what? Thrown into the extravagant lifestyle she had only ever admired from afar. Regina had been gentle with her, surprisingly sisterly, a warmth that she appreciated, having been torn away from her family. Her parents seemed to accept this, accept the noble standing in exchange for giving her up. She could never understand. No. Regina never minded that Munhael wasn't used to the manners the speech, the outfits. Instead, she taught her a simple but elegant hairstyle of 2 buns. Let me double check. I'm gonna pull up a picture on my phone. I'm pretty sure I designed her as, I don't remember if it's a Sailor Moon hairstyle, but I'm pretty sure it's just 2 buns with bangs. hard part is describing that as always. Yeah, I just have two buns with like two trails in front of her ears. With trailing braids on either side to fall over her ears. Her peacock plumage stuck out tastefully from her dark hair. Regina, of course, sported ever-changing braids and loops and swirls, each more complicated than the last, held with delicate knots and clips that glittered and gleamed. With each turn of her head. Next to her, Munhael expected that she looked rather plain, but she preferred it that way. If everyone was staring at Regina, then they weren't picking Munhael apart. And that, let's see, how long did I say she stayed with Regina? We had a timeline. So it's been about 100 some years. That was how it stayed for the next 100 years. On the day everything changed, only a few months after Munhael turned, she was looking for Regina to give her a letter and ask to borrow a few hair clips. None of the more expensive ones, but those done in a soft robin's egg blue bone that was just the right strength to hold her hair without damaging it. Regina preferred the gem-encrusted ones, or those made of metal. But Munhael just couldn't give up. Oops. Somehow I turned on sticky keys because that's how I work, I guess. But Munhael just couldn't give up. What couldn't Munhael give up? What type of word? The smooth comfort that the bone provided. Sometimes, after wearing it long enough, it gave off a warmth that nothing else could quite mimic. The letter she held was one that Regina's suitor had given her. She received it from a servant who manned the post box. The servants had, thinking that Munhael couldn't hear, often complained of Regina's cruelty, of her ruthlessness. Something Munhael just couldn't align with her sweet but stern older sister. She knocked and entered the elders' dressing room, a room that was painted a clear white, tapestries in white and gold thread hung on every wall. Dressing table she was looking for was pushed in the corner, away from where it usually sat against the wall, against the far wall. The servants rearranged the room again. The plush bearskin rug felt warm under her feet, a nice change from the cool tile of the halls. The stool that belonged with the table still sat in its usual place. Munhael needed to talk to whoever was rearranging. This setup didn't really make sense She reached down to pick up the stool. She reached down and began to pick up the stool. She might as well finish whatever this servant started. No need to have them scolded for leaving a job partially done. As she picked the stool up, however, her fingers traced an indent along the bottom, not unlike the catch to open the top of a music box. One that she would have to wedge her fingernail under to open. Was this something for Regina? No, this was something for Regina. But was it to store secrets or to hurt her? Okay, pause and take a drink. I'm drinking Powerade, kind of reluctantly, because my calves keep cramping, and my sister told me I need more electrolytes, so here we are. She flipped the stool over, hearing the faintest shift from the contents of the stool, and ran her fingers over the bottom of the seat. There it was. She felt the smallest groove under her fingers. Under her index finger. Munhael studied her bitten to the quick nails. Realized she'd have to use something else. Maybe she should have been trying harder. Oh no, wait. And with a small shrug, he grew them to a length that she could pry off the seal with. The piece of wood a little larger than the span of her hand. Popped from its flush seating. Soundlessly falling onto the rug. Within the seat of the stool, restored about 10 hair clips. Munhael stared. She pulled one out, trying to see what could make these so important to hide. Holding it up to the light, holding it up to the window, she stared and stared. An albino peacock feather stared back. She didn't mind that Munhael was a fully She didn't mind that Munhael presented as a colorful peacock, while she remained an albino, doomed to be replaced. Okay, there we go. That should give us the nice... Then we know that Regina is an albino. Okay. I'm not quite sure what I want to do after this. Okay, I think this is what I can think of right now. It's probably very wordy, kind of too poetic, I'm sure. I'm much more into prose. I'm really not wearing my dialogue brain at the moment, so I think I'll wait for that confrontation instead. I would like to just kind of flow back out from here. I've gotten very attached to Munhael, actually. I've enjoyed playing her a lot. I think she's quite a fun character. I don't normally play characters who are solely selfish, and while Munhael isn't completely selfish, she's still far more self-interested, I should say, than my characters who even lean evil, because they are more survival-oriented, whereas Munhael is, I require security and thus need power, which is quite different from most of the characters I play. It's been quite interesting. So, I think I will work on this more later. I hope you enjoyed this rather short writing session. It is, after all, only a page and a paragraph. Sorry again for taking 3 million years to post. I have one excuse, and that's that I went home for like 5 days, and I find it very hard to do anything when I'm at home, especially because my parents are trying to move, so I'm just packing up a bunch of stuff all the time when I'm over there. Or I'm working. There's not really anywhere to record right now because my desk is, of course, at my apartment. So let me know if you guys like this one, if you're interested in Munhael, if you're interested in seeing more of this. Honestly, if you're not interested in seeing more, that's okay. I'll be writing more on my own. I've been thinking about Munhael and Regina's relationship and their eventual confrontations throughout this campaign a lot. So this is just some self-fulfillment. Anyways, I'm sure I've already said this, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you all will have a wonderful week. I promise I will do my best to post more this week to make up for not posting, but please don't hold me to it because I am a very irresponsible channel hunter. I'm so sorry, guys. And so I will see you guys in the next one.